In every design lies a narrative waiting to unfold. It's where dreams meet reality and imagination shapes spaces. Just like a lakeside retreat embodies a tale of tranquility, where each ripple narrates a moment of peace, and every sunset paints a canvas. Join me as we design a lakeside retreat that is not merely a blueprint, but a narrative waiting to be revealed. Hi, I'm Louw from my studio, and today we'll be designing a lakeside retreat in the woods, and I'll be going through the process from inception to final concept, starting with the brief. The brief is to design a lakeside retreat to act as a family holiday home and to be converted later as a retirement home, with one of the spare bedrooms being used as a caretaker accommodation. And then of course we have an open plan kitchen, dining and living area with a separate TV room to act as a movie watching room or for the kids to entertain themselves. And of course, as this site is located in South Africa, it needs a braai area. Now, moving on to the site analysis, we will be assessing the site conditions and context, such as the surroundings, the climate, and other considerations. Unfortunately, I can't disclose the site location for obvious privacy reasons, but I am going to draw a basic site analysis. So let's get started. So we've got the lake here with the shoreline running like that, and roads also following the shoreline. And we've got these beautiful trees on top of this hill, and this is where I thought the site ought to be, in this area here, with the entrance perhaps leading from this road, something like that. So these trees will block the predominantly southeastern wind in this area coming from that direction. And so you'll see this site has a beautiful 180-degree view. It looks something like this. Now I can't show you the actual photos of the site, however I've asked AI to generate some images of what the site looks like, getting it as close as possible. Now the next thing we want to keep in mind is that we're in the southern hemisphere. The site is located in South Africa, and so the sun comes from the north. Unlike in the northern hemisphere, it obviously comes from the south. And so this is the sun path, and I'll just make a quick diagram to make it a bit more clear. Now if you were wondering what these lines indicate, this line here indicates the summer sun path, and this one here indicates the winter sun path. And so naturally we've got the eastern sun, which is the morning sun, coming from here, and from the west we've got the evening sun shining from this side. And so all these elements will guide us into some design decisions that we need to make in the future. And so that's a basic site analysis that we can take forward into our design. Now that we have a good idea of what the site looks like, it's time to create a concept for this project, taking into consideration the client's needs as well as any limitations or constraints that the site may have. And by referring to this concept, we can ensure that it aligns with the client's needs and requirements before we develop it any further. After some initial concepts of how these spaces could be arranged, I landed on the following concept. Let's take a look. Now it feels like the site is two different environments, one of the calm trees with the sound blowing through the leaves, giving a sense of relaxation, and the other of serene views, giving a sense of freedom. And so I thought, why not make the main circulation of the house run along or parallel with the trees, and this line could separate the living spaces from the more private spaces, which are your bedrooms. And so you could start by having the kitchen, the dining and the living area, with the main bedroom obviously having the beautiful views, and your kids' bedrooms with a serene environment. Perfect for studying. And that allows all the more public spaces to enjoy the views. And then I'll put the garage in the most undesirable location, which is here, closest to the road. Now, because this house relies heavily on this division between the serene and the freedom with the circulation, I was thinking of really defining this space with a strong element running all the way through the house. And in my head I was thinking of rammed earth, but we can decide what the material would be later in the design. And so this really defines the very two different spaces from one another. Now, it's always a good idea to start drawing sections as soon as possible, as you start to uncover some spatial intricacies, like revealing the interplay between heights and levels and various volumes within the design. Now, I'd like to take a section through this house, running all the way to the lake, and so what that would look like is something like this. Over here with the lake here and the tree line here, and obviously just fill this in. Now we want to keep in mind that we want the sun to penetrate the southern side where the bedrooms are. So if we've got our strong element here, the one that divides the two spaces from one another, I'd like to tip the roofs towards north, but allow for sun to penetrate the bedrooms at the back. And similarly, we've got the living spaces here that might have, if we develop this a bit further, it might even have great views of the trees. Now it's time to refine the concept. This involves going back and forth, drawing and tracing and creating 3D models to better understand the spatial qualities, and seeing it in a 3D perspective gives you a good idea of what it would look like in reality. It's also useful for creating presentations or marketing material. So let's get started. Now that was a few minutes of what was actually a couple of days of developing this concept. So let's see this narrative unfold in the final design. Thanks for joining me on this design adventure. I had a lot of fun exploring the intricate narratives of this lakeside retreat. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos, and have a good one.